Welcome to another episode of One on One with Mitch Lafon. I am your host, Mitch Lafon. Joining me this week is Beefcake the Mighty of Gwar, and of course, Nathan of Witch Mountain. Great band. And to discuss all of this is Talking Metals Mark. Oh, wait, no.
No,
It
no, no.
is RUSS DWARF of the...
Killer Dwarfs.
Dude,
Right.
you've been missing in action. Where the hell have you been? And of course, welcome back.
Thanks, man. I've been all over. I've been, from Florida to the Yukon and Peoria and back. And I'm home. I'm done for the year.
Yeah, and of course, when people say you go to the Yukon and Peoria, they go, "Oh, he's being facetious." But no, you've actually been to
I have.
Whitehorse.
I was up in Whitehorse and I was like, we had a great gig up there. Gary Bailey is a great friend of ours and he did an amazing show. And we got to go on helicopter rides over the mountains, and I mushed dog sleds, and it was definitely the Canadian experience. Everyone should try to do it once in their life.
Yeah,
Awesome place.
yeah, absolutely. Now let's talk Gwar.
Yes.
Good old Gwar. They are on the Gwar Eternal Tour. Coming to towns near you soon, including Montreal and Toronto. And listen, going back to the early 80s when I would turn on the Pepsi Power Hour on Much Music and listen to J.D. Roberts give us his spiel, they would say, well, here's the new Helix, and here's the new Killer Dwarfs, and here's the new Motley Crue. And then there
hmm
was Gwar. Been around for many, many years. Did
30
you
years.
ever, 30 some years, did you ever have you been to a Gwar show? Do you know Gwar? What did you think of them? The whole
I,
thing.
I've never been to Gwar, and I know they've been to Toronto a bunch of times. I think they're
Hmm.
well liked here, and and I've heard their music and stuff. They're really super tight. Like they come off as a bit of a comedy act and stuff, kind of like we do. But they're
Yeah,
very,
but they do it on purpose.
I know, but they're very tight. Like they're good musicians and they really deliver good, and they're having a good time. So you got to give it to them. These guys, they got nominated for a Grammy for God's sakes.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the last little bit, their
Mm,
singer bassist Dave Brockie passed away. It's
awful.
never a good thing when we lose one of our brothers in arms, especially in the rock world.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of that going on this year too.
Is it suggestive that maybe all of us are just getting too old and people are just passing away because we've hit that age? Or
It probably is. I don't know. Didn't you see that survey recently, or some? There was some. I don't know. They did something in Australia about rock musicians
Mhm.
die in their 50s, so more
Yeah.
likely to die in their 50s. I guess it just comes with the territory or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a good thing at all. But why don't we sit
But
back and listen to Beefcake the Mighty? We talk about Dave Brockie. We talk about the tour. We talk about the last album and when are they going to make a new album. And always interesting to talk to the Gwar guys because
hmm
they are obviously from another planet and they speak of things that we don't know on Earth. But let's listen to Beefcake the Mighty. We are talking with the mighty Beefcake, or Beefcake the Mighty from Gwar. Good day, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm a little grumpy this morning. I haven't killed anything yet.
Well, there's plenty of stuff out there to kill. What would be the first thing you'd want to kill? What's on the top of the list?
Um, I would say we'll kill these people here in Seattle,
Ha,
and we'll move on to Canada.
ha.
Kill them.
Yeah. Now you're coming to. Well, before I tell you where you're coming here, you're on the Gwar Eternal Tour. Um,
That's right.
the band's been going on for what is it now? 20, God, even more than that, 30 years almost, right?
It'll be 30 years next year.
What keeps you
At
going?
least in the human rock world.
In
We've been a band of scumdogs for millions of years.
millions of years. Now, let's talk about your captain, the one that we lost in combat recently, Odorous Urungus. Um, how devastating was that of a loss to you?
We're still looking for him here on this Gwar Eternal tour. You know, we don't know exactly what happened to him, and every night we find out, and then we forget again, and we repeat it over and over again like a Groundhog Day. So, as of yet, I don't know where he's at. I'm sure I'll know by the end of the night, and then forget again.
Now, if I come out to the show in Montreal on December 10th, what am I going to see?
You will see Gwar in all its glory, and you'll see hate and destruction piled upon the audience.
Will there be blood?
And probably some drugs. Probably do some drugs, and probably some bestiality. Who knows? Anything can happen.
Is the show safe for youngsters? Should I bring my 11-year-old daughter to come see this?
The show is not safe for young or old. If you come, you'll die.
That's the way it's got to be. In terms of recording, the last album that materialized was Battle Maximus. That's
correct.
Is the band thinking of doing more music? Is there anything?
Well, we don't even have to think about it. We just raise our pinkies and music happens. We of course invented music by stretching the guts of dinosaurs across the Grand Canyon and plucking them to make pretty sounds. And we'll have music. We probably have a backlog of music anyway. I think we just pull that shit out of the closet and throw it out on the market.
What's been remarkable though is that it's been 30 years of Gwar sort of pulling and stretching dinosaurs across the Grand Canyon and throwing stuff out. What keeps the band active? What keeps this mass of flesh and blood moving along? Why not just say, hey, let's go conquer another planet?
Well, I would have to say it's crack. It's really puts a pep in your step.
The ass kind or the rock kind?
Well, mostly the rock kind, but the ass kind too.
Yeah,
we like that too.
The last crack to get you going in the morning.
Right.
Why not? Tell me a little bit about the outfits that you wear. Are they important to the army and the Gwar look, or is that just sort of a fashion statement?
It's just really my war armor is kind of like a tracksuit in my home planet. We all wear those, kind of like Eastern Europeans. We just wear those around town all day.
Yeah, why not?
I don't even know what the other guys are wearing. They throw on bones and fucking moose antlers. I don't know.
Now you've got some new Scumdogs. Where'd you pick those up? Where'd you pick up those guys or those girls? Or...
I think one of them came from Canada because he looks like a big moose on stage. I don't know where he came from. He came out of a fucking time hole.
And are these Scumdogs gonna stick around with the troupe, or are you sending them back to wherever they came from?
I don't know. They've been hanging around for a little while. They're okay. Now one of them's got really big breasts, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with big breasts. I have to say that's a very important part of a show.
Actually, both of them have big breasts.
Which is good for the show.
Right.
Coming to Montreal, you've been here many times before. What is there anything in particular about our fair city that you enjoy?
No, nothing in particular. We hate your city. We hate all cities, and but you do have good coffee.
Yeah, I agree. We in fact, I'm having one right now. Tim Hortons is a fantastic company.
That's right.
How long is the show going to last? Is it until we all drop dead, or is it pretty much 10 minutes and you're gone?
the show lasts about an hour and a half every night, or until everyone else is dead.
Is it a little more difficult getting up on stage, performing without Odorous to your left or to your right? Does that affect the vibe at all?
Well, it's a little discombobulating. We're used to smelling him, and now we're smelling another. Both are. He's pretty bad too. So it's still stinky, but a little bit less so.
A little less so. Now, you have a manager, Sleazy P. Martini.
That's right.
Why does a formidable force like the mighty members of Gwar need a manager? They're usually a weaker sort of humanoid. Why not just conquer by yourselves?
Well, Sleazy, he provides us with lots of drugs and and victims and sex objects. So he's useful to us. But he manages. He puts together these. We don't know where the hell we're going. He throws these dates together and drags us around. We just show up wherever he says to go, because we know there'll be good killing.
Yeah. Now, after 30 years, and you keep mentioning that there's plenty of drugs, I would imagine being 30 years into the game, the drugs have gone from coke and acid and all that stuff to sort of Tylenol and Advil and Percocet. Has it gotten harder to do this as the years have gone by?
It's a lot more jinkum nowadays. We've been doing that a lot now.
Oh, that's the plant, right? That you chew?
No, I believe it's inhaling shit fumes.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, that'll get you real high.
And then finally, what happens after the tour? What are the plans for 2015?
I'll probably take a nap and eat a sandwich.
Will you make new music? Will you continue touring next year?
I'm sure we'll always be out there destroying. Gwar can't be. We're eternal. That's why it's a Gwar Eternal Tour. So, we'll be around forever. We'll be around at least until we wipe you people out. If you stop breeding, we can't keep up.
I know, but I mean, you go to a Gwar show, you get all horny, and then you have to breed. I mean, it's what happens. In fact, you're the problem. You keep forcing us to breed.
That's a good point. So that's true.
We're only following our mighty leaders, the mighty Gwar.
As you should.
As we should. Beefcake, absolute great pleasure. And there you have it, folks. My interview with Beefcake the Mighty of Gwar. Russ, when your name is Beefcake, it sounds a little more, Playboy pinup model than from Gwar. I mean, what a great name for a monster.
Yeah, and their album titles are hilarious too. America Must Be Destroyed, This Toilet Earth, We Kill Everything.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah, Scumdogs of the Universe.
Classic. I love it. I love that they can make fun of themselves and have a good time. And, that's a great thing about music, right? Sometimes everybody takes themselves a little too seriously, but these guys, they've made a great career out of, enjoying themselves.
Yeah, and the Dwarves have done sort of the same thing, right? Where you all assume the persona of RUSS Dwarf, Daryl Dwarf.
Right. It's like the Ramones or something.
Yeah.
But we always try to have a positive, outlook on things and have fun with it because, like I've said a million times, we don't have the cure to cancer here. It's just show business.
No, and of course you were a poster boy at some point.
For blind people, yes, I was.
Well, listen, somebody has to
I got a face for radio, Mitch, and after this year, I'm Frankendwarf, for God's sakes.
Speaking of a face for radio, of course, earlier this year you had a bit of a car accident that
I
had
did,
a
yeah.
bit of an impact on your good looks.
Yeah, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, very figuratively, it hit your figure.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I just this weekend I was in Pekin, Illinois. I think
Yep.
it was Pekin, Illinois, and we drove on that stretch of highway where that accident happened,
Oh, that's got to make you feel nervous.
and I met a guy named Ty that helped us out down there. Like a lot of fans came forward and helped us, and got our trailer and our gear for us, and really stepped up to the plate. And it was really heartwarming to see him there, and I appreciate everything that everybody did for us. It was awesome, and we survived it. We've had a hell of a year. We've had a great year.
Yeah. So I guess the update then is you're alive and kicking, and let's go.
I'm good. I'm ready to rock, man. I still have a few issues that are probably never going to go away, but all in all, I'm above ground and having a great time with the band. And next year's looking up for us, so let's rock this fucker.
Yeah. So there you go, and we definitely need to work on getting you a gig in Montreal. That's of primal or primordial importance.
Yeah, we have to for sure. I love that city, and I have a lot of friends there, and it would be great to come there, Heavy Montreal or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you'd be perfect for that.
Yeah.
So
let's do it.
I got to make a call. I guess we got to work on that. But since we're speaking of Gwar, and as you pointed out, they have albums that are called "We Kill Everything," "Violence Has Arrived," "War Party," and all that wonderful stuff. What better way to go on the flip side of this episode and have a doom metal band out of Portland, Oregon, Witch Mountain. Been around since 1997. They've recently released an album called Mobile of Angels, and it is the last album to feature vocalist Uta Plotkin, who has decided after 5 years to step aside and hand the microphone over to somebody else. And during the interview, Witch Mountain, his drummer, their drummer Nathan Carson, talks about how you can go to their Facebook page and send in your demo to be part of the doom metal scene and be their new lead singer. So why don't we sit back and enjoy Nathan talking about Mobile of Angels, Uta leaving, and how you can become their singer. Here's Nathan. We are talking with Nathan Carson of Witch Mountain. Good day, sir. How are you?
Very well.
So, Witch Mountain, been around for many, many years, since about 97 or so. New album, Mobile of Angels. Tell me a little bit about making the album, the process, and how you're going to support it on the road.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's the third album we've made in 4 years. We've been on the road or in the studio a lot lately, and we were just feeling very creative and motivated, and knew we wanted to make this album. And right when we were sitting down to write it, our singer Uta decided that she wanted to spend the winter in New Orleans.
Right.
So we worked that out, and our guitar player Rob, he's my partner who I founded the band with. He kind of went down into the basement last winter with his iPad recorder and put together all the riffs for the album and shared them with us. And Uta wrote her lyrics remotely from New Orleans. And by the time, 2014 rolled around, we reconvened and set her lyrics and melodies to the music we were working on, arranged it all together, rehearsed every day for a month, and went in the studio. And we recorded the album, mastered it, and the next day we were on a flight to Europe for our European tour. So it's been pretty nonstop schedule, but I have to say we were really prepared, and it was the easiest album that we've ever made, even though it was, in some ways the most ambitious. But it really went smoothly. It was the third album and fourth recording overall we've done with Billy Anderson as producer.
Right.
And, everything worked out great.
Now, the band has had a lot of member changes over the years. You've had, a cavalcade of bass players. What's going on in the bass spot? Why do the guys keep coming and going?
Yeah, I mean,
Rob and I started the band, and we've had 10 bass players over the years. So really, the way we see it is the core of Witch Mountain is Rob and I, and that's always been intact.
Right.
With the bass players, it's been anything you could imagine, from, catching them smoking crack to, them not being able to, get away for tours, to creative struggles. I think commonly what's happened is someone joins a band that's been around for 15 years and wants to start writing songs right away. And, my advice to anyone is if you're kind of getting on a moving train, it's good to get a sense of what's going on and really, become a part of it before you feel like you get to, have that creative voice. And a lot of bass players, unfortunately, are frustrated guitar players at heart. And so I think we've run into that a bit, but
does that
it's lots of different things.
Does that suggest that you don't welcome sort of new creative input? I mean, is it just sort of you and Rob's vision and everybody else, hey, take a back seat, or is the door open anyway for some kind of collaboration?
I think it's open if it's quality, but what we found, like when Uta brought in song ideas, we felt like they made our songs better. But we've had a lot of bass players that brought in song ideas that sounded just like their other projects.
Gotcha.
And what we're, so
not about that. Okay.
It needs to sound like Witch Mountain, or take Witch Mountain to a new and better place. If it just takes us to, an older, worse place, then that's less interesting to us. So yeah, it depends on the person and the circumstance. Okay. But I would say to a large degree, we'd worked out a division of labor, over the last 5 years, where Uta writes the words and melodies, Rob writes the music. I help with arrangement a little bit, but more than anything, I'm handling the management of the band and the booking of our tours. And so, I feel like I have a nice outlet right there, and just kind of how I manage our affairs.
So let's talk about Uta. The album came out at the end of September, and it was announced before the album was coming out that she's going to be stepping aside. What brought about her decision to leave the band, and where does that leave you in terms of finding a new vocalist?
Right. Well, we had been a band for 12 years before we met Uta, and all that time we'd been looking for a great singer. And so when we finally met her, it was a revelation, and it was really amazing. And we were able to do 3 albums and singles and hundreds of shows and some really great touring. So, it was a fantastic for her and for us. But I think, 5 years later, it's not like we're in a position where we can all just quit our jobs and do this. I mean, we're already basically doing it full time, but I'm not going to lie to you and pretend that it's a great living, or, that we don't have to do other work in order to survive. It's just not the style of music that we play, or the climate that, heavy metal is in, and the music industry in general. So, I don't want to put words in Uta's mouth, but the way I see it, she joined us. She got to go, to Europe several times. She got to work in great studios. We got to make this amazing body of work. Right. And, and she was probably tired of being broke. And I know that one of her plans is to go back to school now, and she's probably working on a solo album. And, she didn't really grow up on Doom the way Rob and I did. Like, she doesn't have the classic rock roots that we do. She's coming from a more of a classical perspective. She grew up, playing viola and had all this voice training. And so she's an incredibly talented musician, but I just don't think this style of music is in her blood as deeply as it is for Rob and I. So I think after doing 3 albums and hundreds of shows and putting a lot of her personal life and other projects on hold for us, it's, we're still coming home from tours with a couple months rent, not, a year's worth. And she's probably ready to just go on to the next chapter. Whereas for Rob and I, this is kind of a lifelong endeavor and something that we don't ever plan to quit. So that being the case, I don't believe that there's only one singer in the world that's going to help get us there. I think somebody out there has the voice and the talent and the ambition and a passion for this kind of music that's going to work out. So, we've been receiving a lot of very interesting demos, and I hope that we'll get a lot more, so that when we, we're willing to take our time right now, to make sure we put together the absolute best group possible, because we don't want to let ourselves or our fans down. We want to come back swinging hard.
Is there a place where a potential singer can send a demo? Do you have a Facebook page set up for that purpose, or how is that?
We're very easy to. If you write to us on Facebook, Rob or I will answer. So,
okay, perfect.
We're a very accessible band. We mail out our T-shirt orders ourselves with little handwritten notes. Like we're a very accessible band and people. So yeah, if anyone wants to find us, if you Google Witch Mountain, you're either going to find a Disney movie or us.
Yeah, and you're definitely better than the Disney movie. In the search for a new vocalist, do you look for another female singer, or can it be a male singer?
I'm very open-minded about it.
Okay.
Although I have not seen any submissions from guys whatsoever. Okay. If I met a young man that sounded like Freddie Mercury or Klaus Meine, I would love to buy him lunch. But I in my experience lately, men that have vocals that are even somewhat in that range are going the American Idol route or doing soul music. They're not looking at underground doom metal as a career path. So I think that we are way more likely to end up with another woman in the band, which is great. I mean, we love having that energy and that perspective. I certainly think heavy metal has sort of run out of steam when it comes to just like angry guys shouting at each other.
Yeah, you're right about that. Let me ask you finally, what keeps you going after all these years, you and Rob? Because you have had the lineup changes like we spoke about, the vocalist and the bass player, and there is not that pot of gold waiting for you at the end of the rainbow. Why not just say, hey, listen, let me go work in the accounting office? Why keep going?
Well, I can tell you two reasons. One is because, we love it. We started doing this a long time ago because it's a music that's important to us and it's what comes out of us naturally. So there was never an idea, especially in 1997 in Portland, which was like indie rock capital, it was so uncool to play doom metal here then. So we were never fazed by what was happening in the outside world. And the fact that we've made it long enough that we can be even kind of, middle-aged elder statesmen in this genre it's fantastic.
Yep, absolutely.
And that we've made it long enough that people are interested in this kind of music finally. So there's that kind of like we stuck it out long enough that people care. And also, we never peaked. If we had made an album 10 years ago and we were just like, man, we just have never reached those heights again, I would be much more willing to hang it up. But instead, it seems like every record we do and every tour we do is better than the one before. So I feel very encouraged to say, where can we go next? I mean, just a couple of months ago, we were playing our first ever shows in Greece. We played the Hellfest, which was the biggest show that we've ever done. We put out the best record we've ever done, and all that's like within the last 3 or 4 months. So I guess I just don't feel like we've hit. I mean, yeah, it is daunting, and it is a bit of a headache to have to put together a new group again. But the core is intact. We feel creative. We're better musicians and songwriters than ever before. We're more connected than ever before. And somewhere out there is a singer that wants to move to the hippest city in the country and play in an internationally touring and recording band.
Yeah, I agree. And so 2015, I guess that sees you on the road, and I would imagine starting on the next album since you're so prolific.
We're actually recording a song in 2 weeks.
Wow.
We're
just an instrumental?
It'll be a guest vocalist to be determined, but I feel like we can fly by the seat of our pants right now, and everything will work out.
Absolutely. Nathan, absolute pleasure. And of course, let's remind folks to go to facebook.com/Witch Mountain, and of course, check out the new album. So there you go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Stay doomed.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you, Nathan. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
And there you have it, my interview with Nathan Carson of Witch Mountain. Russ, you heard Nathan say that you could send in a demo to be their singer. Is yours in the mail already?
Already in the mail, definitely. And that would be a cool gig. That
It
might
would
be
be a
fun.
cool gig, but honestly though, as a singer, singing that doom metal where you're using parts of your vocal cords that scientists haven't even mapped out yet.
Well, they're youngsters, so I can't imagine your voice after 30 years of that, really. But to each his own. As long as they're having fun, and I don't know, hard on the pipe, man.
Yeah, it really is. But there you have it. Of course, folks, remember to subscribe to One on One with Mitch Lafon on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, TuneIn, Stitcher, and of course, check out Russ. Russ, what's coming up?
What's coming up for us? I have some time off, which is awesome. I'm gonna be just home here with my puppy and my wife, and a lot of snow, and I'm just gonna take it easy for a bit. And we have a bunch of stuff coming up that I'm sure we'll talk about in the next, coming weeks and stuff. But next year's looking great, and we can't wait to get back out there and see everybody.
Absolutely.
And rock it out.
Yeah, and of course, from me and the fans to you, don't be a stranger. You got to come back and do more of these.
I love doing it. It's just the timing right now and everything. But I'm home for a while now. I'm just on a hunt for a snowblower.
Well, I'm glad you put the word snow in front of that.
Yeah. God, that would be painful.
Yeah, I just want a blower.
He's got a million of them, kids.
Oh, I'm telling you,
I just spent the weekend with Luke Carl, so I'm in a coma.
There you go. Oh, well, I can imagine. Luke, of course, being of Sirius XM.
You have to get Luke on the show. He's very funny, and he loves rock and roll. Or he loves and he loves the hairband stuff. He's like,
what we need to do is have a show with Luke on Sirius XM, because I think we have the skills and the talents to rule the universe.
I know. I keep bugging him and stuff, so he's not really Charles in charge there. But I'll keep on him.
Well, from what I understand, to work over there, you really have to be willing to volunteer your time. So.
Yeah, well, what else is new? It's show business.
It's the show business, folks. There you go. Yeah. Russ, always a pleasure. Fans, check out facebook.com/1on1 Mitch Lafon. There's no with. We didn't have enough room. We couldn't afford the real estate on Facebook.
There you go.
And check out at Mitch Lafon, at RUSS DWARF, at Killer Dwarfs. Hey.
Yeah, it's all in there.
It's all there, folks. Thank you.
Enjoy.